What about making yours sound better?
Hello everybody, this is Jerry Mateo with WA Productions, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the brand new MIDIQ from WA Productions. This is a really easy to use chord sequence generator that kind of thinks out of the box. Instead of focusing on using the circle of fifths or using chord diagrams, it uses shapes to create your sequence. So the way that it works is this little square right here. You actually choose any shape you want, and that shape will be associated with this specific note in that specific key. So let's say I create 8 of them. I simply choose which shape I want them to be, and it will associate different chords to each individual one. Now, a really cool thing is that you can choose how often you want this to trigger. It can go as high as 4 bars per chord, or as fast as 1/32nd note per chord. You can also have this trigger by your MIDI playing, so it allows you yourself to be the trigger, so you can create the melody and the groove yourself. And it's pretty simple. The way you choose your key is you simply go up and down right here. We can choose how off key we want to be by using this section. And this is actually very musical, so it will be a little bit off key by adding notes that normally aren't there, but it will musically fit. Now you can choose your pitch right here. I have mine set to 1 because the instruments that I use have triggers at the lower registers, so I want to avoid those. You can choose your voicings right here, which is 1 through 3. And I'm using the scroll wheel, by the way. And then if you go right here to this section, it actually controls the velocity of the chords. And if you click on the square that you've highlighted, it will unhighlight it, and you will actually be able to choose between 8 variations of chord progressions that you can create. So let's try version 0 and listen to it on presence. Let's try version 8. I like mine better, so we're going to stick with this one. The next step is to create a melody utilizing these chords. So there are many ways of doing that. I like to use easy keys just because it's super fast and easy. It's the lazy way of doing it. And I just drag it into here. I tell it not to mess with this at all because I want it to use this exact progression. And I tell it to use this and utilize something that it's playing. So I tell it to replace it. And now I can actually just drag this down. We can remove this. And we don't actually need easy keys anymore. So we're just going to name this new chords. And I'm going to drag this over to my virtual instrument. And let's take a listen to the way that Presence is playing this. So I don't really want any of these lower keys or lower notes. So I'm going to delete them, and let's listen to it now. Pretty cool. So the next step is I want to utilize the original chords to create a guitar. So I'm going to use a virtual instrument that plays guitar for you. And I'm going to choose a phrase style that I want. Something a little bit more exotic. That works for me. The next step is I want to create a bass line. And this is using a similar bass plugin. We'll keep the trigger really basic at first. Let's try something different. that sounds good. Let's listen to what we've created very quickly. This is using the MIDI that was played from Easy Keys after I've dragged it from MIDIQ onto Presence right here, which is just a stock virtual instrument. And then Silk and Bass, which is just 2 virtual bass players and guitar players. Cool, and for fun, let's just throw in keys. And really quickly, I have created a pretty decent sounding little mini orchestration utilizing the MIDI created originally from MIDIQ. It's really fast and really simple. Now, because I am a musician and a guitar player and a recording engineer, I would use this pretty much exactly like this and then utilize this to send this to some musicians, have them create a drum beat for this, have an actual bass player play something similar to this, and then I would play the classical parts. But this is really fast and really easy. It's taken, what, about 10 minutes to create this, maybe even a little bit less. Imagine what you could do if you're an EDM person or if you use this to create cool and interesting little progressions in different styles of music. Anyway, for my overall review, I think this is a really cool tool. It's very low on CPU, very easy to use. I really like the concept of shapes, and I like how you can just drag and drop the MIDI into other plugins. That is really powerful and really cool. And I can totally see this being utilized along with the other plugins that WA Productions makes to create full-on songs and orchestrations. Now, the only reason why I didn't utilize those tools, because I do have them and I do like them a lot, is because I wanted to show you how flexible this was. I can use this with any virtual instrument. And if I wanted to throw this into something like Hive or Diva, you totally can. I really like this thing. It overall has a very modern look, and it has a very simple design. And that is all the time I have today. This has been Jerry Mateo with WA Productions. I will see you next time. Bye.